All right, here's the river birch I just delivered, and these are some new townhouse units, downtown Pensacola, off of Southeast Street. So if there's anybody in this area looking for a townhouse, these look like they'll be ready here before too long. All right, welcome to Tuesday morning. Didn't film my load today, but that's okay. Just wanted to show you where I'm at. I'm delivered to Inlet Beach, right down that road right over there. And it's a dead end. I had to back up that road, back into heavy traffic over here. But now I'm going back westbound. And this is going into Panama. Well, this is actually coming out of Panama City, so we're going back westbound. So I just thought I'd show you a little bit. And looks like there might be an accident up here, so. Going to one lane. Let me jump off this thing. I've got my beds filled up now. And I got them well, about 3 or 4 inches from the top. That way, in the coming years, what I'm expecting it to do is, since I have the wood in the bottom to start decaying and it'll start sinking, and I've left it a little headspace here, so when we bring in new compost for the top layer to layer it or whatever, it'll fill it in. So, but that's that. Here's the wood. You've seen it was actually in this bed over here, and we had it for a while, and we were using it for a bench. I just have to notch it out a little bit on both sides, and then I'm going to sand it down and we'll do something with it, but it'll be a garden bench for right now. What do you say, Toby? What do you got? You got a shovel? You working? Is he working? He's got a shovel. So that's the beds. I mean, it's just a raised bed with dirt. And I'll zoom back here a little bit. That'll give you kind of an idea of my little garden. So I built 4 of the boxes, and I've got them turned, you know, each different direction. Originally, I put a tarp down that covered this area. I put the boxes on it, and then brought the bricks from another place on the yard, put the patio in the center. And like I said, I've got fig tree right here. You can see these elderberry. That's what these are. You see they're starting to bloom out a little bit. And I think there's like 2 little bitty oaks, looks like, growing in this pot. But those are going to a different location. There's the fig. And you can kind of get the idea of it a little bit. But what we're doing now, because I ordered, and there's my shadow, that's okay. I ordered 10 yards. Now 10 yards would have filled all 4 boxes from the bottom to the top, but I had the wood in there, so that left me extra. And now what we're doing with this extra is we're filling in our pots. And we've got, those look like 1 gallon pots, I don't know, but I've got some 15s over here and some little bitty guys. And we're gonna fill all these up. And this is gonna be, some of the stuff is we're gonna try and grow some crops in it. And then some of it is gonna be possibly these will be some of our starters for our moringa trees. And we'll show you that as that pans along. Let me back up here a little bit. Now you can see everybody. So that's what's going on. And this is, like I said, Tuesday afternoon after dinner. So we're just gonna move some dirt. We'll catch you on another video. Good morning, good Thursday morning. I had to get up at 2 and go in today, and I am now in Jacksonville, Florida. So I'm over on the east coast of Florida. It took me about 5.5 hours to drive over here, but I'm just over at this little nursery here, dropping off some trees. We rarely come this far, but okay, we're coming to the last of the compost. I mean, you can see a little bit down there. We are just scattering it up. There's Big Man on the back. And we'll get this tarp picked up. And this tarp is probably gonna go up here where this pooch is. This is my septic right here. And I'm thinking I'm gonna put might put the tarp up here. There's some blueberries, all the way down. I'm thinking about putting the tarp up here and then doing straw bales or hay bales. It's hard to get straw down or here in Florida, and when I can get it, it's I mean, it's very expensive. So I might do hay bales. And see that little mint, volunteer mint? Yeah, that's cool. So anyways, this is the septic mound. That's where she's at. And like I said, I might do the tarp here if I can get hay bales cheap enough. I want to get, you know, like 2 or 3 year old hay bales, whatever I can find that's left in the barn. And then we'll go from there. So, booyah! Here's one of my little spots here that I was talking about doing an herb garden. This is right off of my my back patio here, back porch. But this area here, you see with the tarp down, this was the patio at one time. That's the bricks that I used out there in that garden. I just moved them from here to there, and what I did was I got a tarp and laid it down. And this is like a lumber tarp. This isn't some little cheap tarp from, I can't even think of the name of the place right now. But anyways, it's a real heavy duty tarp. And so anyways, I got all these containers from where I work. These were like, I pulled out of the trash. So brought them home, filled them up, and we're gonna do something. Like I said, start some produce in here, and maybe some moringa. I want to try to get some pots for moringa, because moringa needs to do a taproot, so they need like a real deep pot, maybe not so big around. So if I can find that. But yeah, once I get stuff growing in here, I'll show you what I got. Now, this is a dragon fruit that we got from the Deep South Homestead gathering, spring gathering, and it was one dragon fruit, and it was connected kind of weird. But I did a lot of research on dragon fruit, and I was shown how to cut it and replant it, and so that's what I did. And we're hoping that this will come back out. You see I got smaller pieces down there, and what it'll do is it'll come out and it'll droop down. But by the time, if it makes it, hopefully, that it comes out and droops, what we're going to do is we're going to take this pot and we're going to set it up on something and let it kind of cascade down. So this is a pineapple top that undoubtedly is, look at that, no good. Maybe the ants got to it. So we're going to pull that out and get rid of that. What else do we have that's already here? We got some type of some form of an aloe vera plant. I don't know. Here's another aloe vera, very healthy aloe vera. Banana. Now, I got this cutting from a guy last year over in Alabama, and my goodness, it died several times. It would come out a couple of leaves and die out because obviously the weather got to it. And so hopefully now it's going to take off. I'm just going to leave this in here to just kind of keep the ground together, I guess, hold moisture maybe. Over here we have 2 more pineapple tops, and this one has still got some green in it, and it's latched in pretty good. So I don't know if anybody's out there familiar with doing the pineapple tops. If you're unaware, you can cut a pineapple top off and leave a little bit and plant it, and supposedly it's supposed to grow. Now, these are latched in, even though they're dried out. They're latched in pretty good. Well, that's not, but you can see some green down in there. There's some green down in there, and this one here, see that? So I'm just gonna watch these guys, and if they don't make, well, I'll try again. And then last but not least, over here is some mint. This was last year's mint that has come back, and check this out. I've got holes drilled in these buckets for the water to go out, and this one found his way through that little hole. But look how pretty that is. Oh man, it's good stuff. So that stuff looks like it's ready to be dried out. We might work on that, but Other than that, I got a few buckets. And this will be my little container area up by the house. And like I said, I want to do some herbs here and get some stuff started. And I'll put on here, maybe not this video, but another one where I'm going to start some seeds and stuff. You know, I got a soil blocker, so that's it for now. We just picked up the last of the compost out there, and we're gonna roll that tarp up and let that grass come back out. Let the sun get to the grass where it's white, so it'll turn green again. And then like I said, if I can find the hay, then that tarp will go up here and we'll get our hay going. And it takes about, if it's fresh hay, it could take anywhere from 10 days to 2 weeks to get it ready to plant in, because you have to add some stuff to it and get it to start composting on the inside. So, all right. This is the end of Thursday afternoon. I just did a 712-mile track to Jacksonville. There's my hound dog. There's my Brittany. Max. There he is. And we're going to go in and eat supper and get ready for Friday. We'll bring you along. Okay, here we are Friday morning. I've got 2 large oak trees underneath that tarp. I got a cathedral, and I don't know what the other one is. And I'm fixing to head out to Gulf Breeze, Florida. And I'll show you a little bit more when I get over there. Okay, here we are at the customers. I got the tarps off. And they're going to go right over here. If you can see right here, there was another tree here already, and it just didn't make it. They planted them last year, and it just didn't make it, and so we brought some more. We're gonna try and get them going again here. And so right now you can see there's nothing there between the posts, and then I'll show you here in a few minutes what it's gonna look like once we get one of these big cathedral oaks in there. And we have liftoff. Look at that contraption there. All right, tree number 2 is off my truck right now. And this is about 30 feet. We got an 80-inch root ball at the bottom. This is a cathedral oak. And he's fixing to pull a maneuver so he can get it underneath the power lines. He's gonna have to drop it down, spin it, and pick it back up on the other side. Okay, he's dropped it down now on the ground. The guys have a lead rope and they're swinging it around, missing the power lines. Look at that, what an awesome job. Once he gets up in there, now he'll be able to pick it back up off the ground. He's dragging down here a little bit. So he should be picking it up. There he goes. And that tree's gonna come around this circle drive, and then it's gonna be planted right here in this area. So once the tree gets up there, then I'll... All right, we're in front of the property now, the street side. And they are getting ready to set her in. It's a beautiful job they've done, landscaping. Look at these crepe myrtles, they are so big. I've never seen them so big. Get where I can see. I don't have my gimbal with me, that's why you see the camera's a little shaky. All right, we are here at the Tuscan Oven Pizzeria, wood-fired pizza in Pensacola, Florida. And Toby's making us a pizza. So that's what's going on here. This is for lunch, everybody. Leland's making something with pizza. With the dough, that is, pizza dough. Toby, you gonna make us a pizza, son? You gonna make us pizza? You making breadsticks? What are you making? Is that it? All right. Something to tide him over, keep him busy till the food gets here. Well, good morning. It is Saturday, just after lunchtime, and I need to get some seeds started. And what I'm using right now, and I haven't used before, is just the regular the 6-cup trays. And these trays were provided by Red Duchess Farm. I got these last year at the Deep South Homestead Gathering in Wiggins, Mississippi, but we're going to go ahead and use them. Now, I do have a soil blocker, and I have a video on that, but right now I'm going to use these seed trays because I'm kind of in a rush. I had too much planned for the day, and I didn't know if I was going to be able to get it done yet, so I'm just going to go ahead and use these seed trays and get in my topsoil and plant some seeds. So what I've made up is Pro Mix. This is what I used last year. It worked out really well. So it's Pro Mix. It's got perlite in it and peat moss, basically. And then I put in some black cow manure in here. So that's what I'm going to use. I'm just going to fill up the trays, drop the seeds in, and water. What's this? Here's some kind of seeds. Look at that. Down inside my tray there. Who would have thought? Let's see right there.
How are the onions supposed to be cut?
Diced onions. Alright. So, I'm just going to do it like this right here. I got them all close together. That way it'll just, hopefully just spill over into the next tray. And I've got a ton of this stuff. If I need to, I'll go get some more. Right now, I'm putting it in here, and some of it's clumped up, some of it's being reused, and I'm just gonna kind of break it up as I put it in here if I can. I hear turkeys, I hear chickens, roosters, I hear sirens. Too much, too busy. And we have plans for this afternoon that I might be late on because I've been so busy, but we're going to meet up with some friends and break out the Dutch oven and try something we saw somebody cooking at the gathering, which is called Hoppin' John. And it's basically a dish from the Civil War era, and it consists of like rice, black-eyed peas, some form of pork, like we're going to use bacon, some celery, and we're going to cook this with our friends outside on a Dutch oven. And traditionally, this, I mean, it's kind of like your New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. You know, some people they do black-eyed peas, some people do cabbage, and that's really, if you do the history on this dish, that's where it pretty much resolved at, was that time frame. And we are in March, and we're going to give it a try anyways. So I'm just getting some of these started for you right now, and I won't make you watch all of it, or I could do a time lapse on it. That wouldn't be too bad if I could figure out how to do that. And we'll go from there. Almost. And I'm underneath carport on the back right now. I don't have a greenhouse set up yet at home. And until I get that, then I have to start my seeds a little bit later outside now that the cold is, now it's still chilly, but we're getting into the 40s in the morning time. So check this out real quick. And that's what I've done. I just filled up these 6 trays right here, and I'll go ahead and finish filling the rest of these, and then we'll get some seeds planted. So stick around. All right, this is the next variety I'm about to put in there. If you can see that, it's the Sugar Rush Peach Pepper. And I've already got some other stuff planted here. I'll show you real quick. I've got some mini bells here. I got some other tomato here. There's some yellow cayenne. There's some other cayenne. I got some, these peach are going to go in this row right here. Then over here I've got the Delicata Squash, and that came out of a jar that I got right there. Bam. And then I'll show you here in a second. Get some more planted, and you can just stick along and watch here for a second. And then I'll water it in. Like I said, I hate rushing this stuff, but sometimes you got to do. Now, some of these I'm planting 18 seeds on, and some of them I'm just planting 9 seeds on. And the peppers, I'm just going to do 9 each of some of the peppers, so I don't get overwhelmed with peppers. So these are going to go right here. And what I did was I just poked a hole down with the back of an old pin, and I'm just dropping the seeds in like so. And once I get it all done, I'll just kind of brush over the top. I might add a little bit more of the Pro Mix on. All right, sorry about that. Advertisement took over. So all I'm doing here is I'm just going to put a little divot in these. Oop, you can even see it. Just put a little divot to drop the seed down in. And now the soil block maker I have, and I'll be using it too. But like I said, I was in a rush, so I'm going to use these trays. But the soil block maker, when you scoop it up and drop it down, it automatically puts the divot in there for you, which is pretty cool. Whoever designed that, it's pretty good design on that. Okay, so like so. And then I'm just going to drop some seeds, more seeds in. And we'll go from there. And you see, I'm not doing all these at one time. I'm just doing what I'm going to plant, because if I get out of order, I will totally not know what's going on. So that's the way I'm going to do it for right now. Okay, I got all my seeds planted in my trays. And all I'm doing is just taking a little bit of this Pro Mix and just sprinkling it over the seeds. I'm not trying to pack it in or anything, just enough to cover it up. And then we'll just come in and water it, and then kick back and watch it grow. I guess I planted more of some than I really wanted, and I couldn't find some of the seeds I did. I did want to plant, but that's okay. There's time. I've got plenty of Pro Mix here, plenty of garden space, and yeah, that's what I'll do. So I'll just try to hit what I didn't want. Now, if I have too many plants here, that's fine. You know, I don't have to plant everything, and I certainly don't want to just weed it out and kill it. But what I can do is I can give some to some family that live local, and give some to the neighbors if they want to start some. I don't know what that is. And at least I'm not wasting the plants. Like I said, I'll get them growing, and then once it's time to put them in the garden, then we'll see how many of each variety that we need in the garden. And then we'll just pass out the rest, be nice to somebody, and that'll keep them from having to go do it. I planted a lot of squash. Now, you all know squash and cucumbers are two things that it's so easy to grow, and you usually get a whole lot of it. And I did plant extra. I did crookneck and straight neck squash, so that's fine. I like them both. And I did two different varieties of cucumbers. Did some regular cucumbers, and then I did some yellow, I call them Dutch yellows. And I did two varieties of tomatoes, which I love tomatoes. And I used to work for the Nashville Tomato Company. And I could just eat tomatoes raw. And I'd spend a lot of money down here in Florida buying the heirloom Ugly Ripes and different tomatoes like that. And what it was doing was that acid was eating away at my stomach lining. Once I figured that out, then I had to cut back on the tomatoes. And I still eat tomatoes, and I eat pizza with tomato sauce and stuff, but it's going to be an earlier part of the day where I can kind of work it off before bedtime. So, all right, there we are. We're going to water this in and then walk away. Okay, so I'm watering these in. Just used a coffee can and a little cup. That's what I'm using. I'm just dipping in the water and watering it in. These seed trays have holes in them, and then the tray holding the seed trays has holes, and then it's on a table full of holes, so any excess water will just drain out. So it's okay. You can water them good and not worry about excess water. So that's what I'm doing right now, is I'm watering in the seeds. And then I'll show you here real quick, because if you're not familiar with the Clyde's calendar, and I'll show you a little bit about it real quick. And it's a good tool to use because it's in your hand and it's easy to get around. I know everybody's like, well, we've got the internet and we can just look it up online, but I'm a believer in books and handheld literature, because you never know when that internet's going to go down and you need to get a hold of some information. So, and I'll show you on another video a collection of books that I've gotten specifically just for, you know, gardening and homesteading type books. And of course the Bible would be the #1 book for that, but these other books go into more of a detail on how to build anything from a chicken coop to a distiller for water, if you want to collect water out of the air. All right, but anyway, so got them all watered in, and what I'll show you right quick is this. My helper's out here. If you want to come here and hold this right here where you can see, I'm going to show this. And this, okay, this is a Clyde's calendar. You can go online, just look up Clyde's calendar, just Google that. And once again, now we got to Google it to get to the paper stuff, but Google Clyde's calendar, and it's got, you know, just a quick list of things that you may plant during the springtime. And on the back, it's got the fall planting schedule. And it's not an in-depth schedule of everything, but it tells you when to sow your seeds, indoors, outdoors, when to expect to collect it. Now, it just slides, basically. And what you'll do is you'll take this, and this comes with the Clyde calendar. No, keep it right here, bud. And what this is, okay, for me, for Florida, let's look here at Florida. Okay, we're going to go Tallahassee. That's the closest thing. And it says 20 February is the average, what does that say? 20 February, last spring, average first fall. Okay, so the last frost, we'll go 10 March for the last frost, and then 15 November for the first frost of the season. So when we go 10 March for the average last frost, we'll go on here and we'll take this red line and we'll stick him right around 10 March, which is 10 to 15 March. And now that tells me when I need to sow my seeds and when I expect to collect them. So it's a garden planner. It's pretty cool. Check it out. Let's see if there's a website on here. Okay. Website, if you can, I'll hold that up. If you can get that information right there for the website, go check it out. And these things are only a couple of dollars a piece. I got mine. I won it for answering a question from Doug from Off Grid with Doug and Stacy. And so that's that. And we got to go for now. So, sorry. It's a bad hair day. We got to go for now. Like I said, we're going to go and do some Dutch oven cooking this afternoon. We might bring you along for that too. So stay tuned or see you later. All right, we are trying our, or I'm not even going to say the word trying. We are preparing a Civil War delicacy. Rob, you care to elaborate on what we're doing here?
Okay, so I'm reading a book about when they were in South Carolina. The Confederates were so poor, didn't have anything, that they would take the ramrod out of their gun, put a piece of dough on it, and wrap a piece of bacon around and put it in the fire. That was what we were attempting to do, only we put it in a skillet. So this is little pieces of freshly milled bread, dough, wrapped in bacon, and I think we overcooked it a little.
It's Cajun. It's blackened. That's all.
Yeah, there we go. This is all planned, right?
So,
but I think we're getting the fire too hot too. But it's smelling great. So then the other thing we're making is Hoppin' John. And what they had didn't have much. They could get a hold of a little bit of bacon, and then they put the black-eyed peas in, and then we've got onions here. Okay, so I'll let you stir it. Some people put carrots, right? But Laura, did we have any carrots, babe? Can you get some? I wouldn't mind putting a couple of carrots in here if you can find some. And what else? Was there anything else? We got celery in this one.
Black-eyed peas. These are the field peas with the snaps. We got bacon, celery, and it's going to be white long grain rice.
Yeah, rice. That's the other ingredient. I forgot. Rice.
And that's pretty much, you know, you can change it up and do it how you want.
Already looking really good. Like just like that would be plenty, but I can't wait to try the rest. They called it a stew, but it's going to be, I don't know. We'll see how it turns out. But it's looking good. So we're trying to eat like they ate in the Civil War today in the South.